Alright guys, welcome to another episode of The Theory. Today we're going to be talking about something pretty interesting that's been popping up on my feed a whole bunch on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And that is the Chris Mellon UFO Air Force video that's being shared around a bunch. Now, it's a pretty interesting story, and I have the video for you guys, and I also have some picture comparisons we're going to look at. But as always, today's video is brought to you by creepytkt.com and the Graveyard Goons. Their links will be in the description of this video as well as mine, so make sure you guys check that out. But let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm going to show you guys this video first, and then we're going to talk about it. Alright guys, so as you can see, this video is pretty strange and anomalous. Now, I got this information from the Silva Record, which is Danny Silva's publishing site, where he posts a lot of articles about UFO, UAP news, disclosure, and things like that. Super nice guy, super credible, writes some great stories. Make sure you guys go check him out. I'll put his link in the description. So I'm going to go ahead and read to you a quote from one of his articles from Chris Mellon during the TTSA interview. So, quote, "I did tend to keep my eye out, and because I had interest, and from time to time this issue would arise, or I might be working with a colleague, for example, who had been the senior intel officer at Spacecom. And I remember one night working with a brigadier general whom had been the senior intel officer at Spacecom in his last assignment, and so I just, informally asked him about that, and he looked at me sort of like, 'What are you, crazy?' He gave me this look like I had a third eye on my forehead. And, generally speaking, it is not an issue that is talked about or has a lot of credibility. You risk your own credibility if you express too much interest in it. So it's just something that I quietly, it was always in my mind. And because I had interest, so I would keep my eye out for things. And occasionally that was something that would lead to something or bear their fruit. In one case in particular, I had a friend who was a colleague at the time on the Senate Intelligence staff, and he was doing some oversight at Maui Optical Tracking Facility, which does space surveillance, like I said earlier. Back to the quote, and I said, "While you're out there, they're civilian nice guys, why don't you just ask them? So, you ever see any strange, really anomalous stuff you can't identify?" And so he called me up. He said, "I asked that question. Sure enough, there's the tape right here. And these guys got a video of these. Fireballs going through the sky, the night sky." And I said, "Well, can we get a copy of it?" I called this Air Force officer. He said, "Sure, it's unclassified too. I'll just send it to you." Actually, they sent it through Congressional Affairs or something. But anyway, I got the tape, and one of the interesting things about that was that, one, it showed these sort of four or five objects look almost like formation moving low in the sky, fast, but slower than a meteorite. Normally, how you see meteorites, it's kind of a flash, and this was much slower than that, but much faster than what you would expect an airplane to be. And there was a lot of heat, intense heat, probably due to the speed. And I knew there were a few other folks who had interest in this topic, so I decided to, ask people if they were interested in seeing the video. And a few people did. End quote. So that's Chris Mellon's quote about the video you guys just watched. Alright guys, so with that being said, you hear the description, you've seen the video. I'm going to leave it up to you guys for what your opinions are on this. I have a good friend, Rodney Thomas, who's really big into astrophotography. He's helping me up with my night vision cam setup to be able to do live UFO watches right here on YouTube and Facebook, that sort of thing. And he mentioned this kind of looks like a plane when filmed through, the astrophotography settings with high exposures and things like that. Now, he does not believe this is a plane for sure, but it was just something he mentioned, and I went and found some pictures, of course, of what it looks like when a plane is crossing, and I'll put that up on the screen for you guys. Now, when a plane is crossing, it does leave the streak because of the high exposure, but you see on this one, these things are split apart. They're actually, there's nothing in between holding the streaks together. They're separate, 3 or 4 separate objects. And so with that being said, I believe this could be super official. It came from that Maui Observatory, which we all know those are pretty high-tech observatory areas. They have nice telescopes, nice captures, cool stuff like that. So I think these could be completely legit. Although I cannot find any other information about this specific sighting, I do believe this could be legit. Now, I'll leave it up to you guys. Like I said, drop a comment if you guys can find anything else about this video, any background information. I would absolutely love to hear it. So make sure you guys drop a comment, hit that subscribe button for me, and I appreciate you watching.